today.
This is the old image of the big league. Players coming to terms with clawing mud, stars being bogged down and struggling to show their skills in a deep midwinter. Pitches more suited to a duck pond and soaked supporters. Now, much has been written this week, but one thing is for sure. Tomorrow at Wigan, the chairmen meet to decide whether they should switch to a summer season. And it's a mild spring evening. A win for Warrington tonight will open the door to Wigan to lift the title on Sunday. But Leeds need 2 more points to secure second place. It'll be quite a night at Wilderspool that is bathed in sunshine after an eventful week in a game that's on the verge of revolutionary change.
When the weather is high and touch the sky, you got women on your mind. You can make it good and live by.
So is this the new vision of the game? International events, huge crowds and superstars displaying their skills in the very best conditions. On warm summer nights, it won't just be the rugby that draws the crowds. Entertainment will be the name of the game. And with a season that runs alongside one in Australia, the climax inevitably will lead to World Club Championships on a regular basis. Good evening from Wilderspool. Are we at the eve of the dawn of a brand new era in the big league? After 100 years, is the game about to switch to a summer season from March to October? Well, Summer Rugby League is top of the agenda at Wilderspool tonight. Steve-O is here, of course, and he will be giving us his opinion shortly. And the player's voice will come from the Wigan and Great Britain star, Dennis Betts. Dennis, do you think that Summer Rugby League is a goer? Do you think that tomorrow the chairman will take that historic vote?
Well, I believe they have to. It's, as you just said, it's an entertainment business, and at the moment we're just getting no entertainment throughout the winter. The game, we're getting very few games that are competitive because of the standard of the pitches and the weather. People aren't coming to watch the games because they don't want to get wet. You've got people that will always watch rugby league, but we're trying to make our game bigger, and we're not attracting anybody while you're having to stand there in sleet and snow and watch 26 blokes roll around in the mud.
Is it a fact that the players would prefer to play on nights like tonight with good top-of-the-ground conditions? Certainly after seeing your team, Wigan, against Halifax last Sunday, one would think so.
Well, I don't believe that anybody who enjoys playing rugby at a top standard would want to play when it's wet and when it's muddy. They've got to want to play on nights like tonight, on decent grounds, when the grass is green and the pitch is firm. The sun's not shining because you're playing at night, or there's a bit of cloud cover, but it's a nice evening, you've got plenty of people there, the ball's not soaking wet, and you know who's on each side because the colours stand out because you've got decent pitches and decent sun.
Well, you can certainly see the numbers, can't you, on an evening like this, we hope. But Steve-O, do you think that the chairman of the rugby league clubs will bite the bullet tomorrow and they will go for this revolutionary change?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I can't think for them, but let's hope that after 100 years of going backwards, and I think we have gone backwards, that we might start going a bit forward. We could probably have got away with it if our stadia was so good, but unfortunately it's not good. In fact, it's very bad indeed. Apart from maybe 3 or 4 stadiums, you could call it very poor. And I think that we could have got away with it. So we have to start changing things. We have to start going forward. And we've got to give entertainment. The dollar and the pound is hard to earn these days, and we've got to give good value for money. And standing out in cold, wind, rain is certainly not good value.
Now, you, of course, know the Australian scene inside out. You know the way that they changed over there and they remarketed the game late 70s, early 80s. Played on proper conditions with stars like Dennis Betts, this game is highly marketable, isn't it?
Well, of course it is. It's the best game in the world. I don't need convincing, and I'm sure that the league fans don't need convincing. What we have to do is convince the people that don't know about rugby league, and there's only one way you're going to do that, and that's to copy the Australians. What we did in Australia was that they took it away and they turned it into a family sport. And when you got the family coming with you, you've got to have good conditions. The kids don't want to stand out in the pouring rain, freezing cold. Give them a little bit of warmth and the kids will enjoy it. Sandcastles, you name it, barbecues, okay. A lot of people are running away with the fact that it's going to be totally hot and red hot. Well, I can't remember an English summer where it's going to be that hot. But I mean, it's going to be mild, and that's what we need.
Well, that's our view up here in the studio. I wonder what the supporters think. Bill Arthur has been out and about in the streets of Warrington today, canvassing their views.
Basically, I think it's a good idea. You know, sort of fed up with standing at places like Salford and Widnes and getting absolutely frozen to death on a cold winter's day. So I think playing it in a nice, warm weather is going to be better, and you're going to have better conditions for better skills from the players.
I'd prefer it in the summer, yeah, because it's, especially in the winter, sometimes it's so cold. So and I think you get more, especially when it comes up to like the start of the season, and around Easter time you get twice as many people there anyway.
I play rugby myself, so yeah, I'd prefer to play during the summer than I would during the winter.
I just think of the sport with all the other sports we have in summer. They just clash with all the other football matches and your tennis and your cricket and stuff like that. It's just a waste of time.
There's too many hold-ups in the winter season with the bad weather, too much all crammed in together. I think it's very good to span it out.
In summer? Great idea, it's a good game.
I think it's a good idea because it enables people to go out and watch the rugby in like good conditions, because if it had been in the winter at the moment, not many people are going out watching it because of the weather.
Well, that's the view of the man and woman in the street. Of course, the most important people in this game, let's not forget it, are the players. Dennis Betts is a player in the big league, and I remember Dennis talking not too long ago to Gary Schofield, of all people, who said, no, summer rugby is not a runner in this country. The pitches are too firm, it's too warm. Now, what do you say? What's the players' voice? What do they think now?
The players want some rugby. We could play evening kickoffs. I'm sure somebody invented sprinkler systems not too long ago to keep pitches not too firm. But you've just got to look at it. In the summer, people are happier. The sun's out, people enjoy doing things. Players will enjoy playing more, therefore they will create a better spectacle because they're happier. Fans will enjoy the game more because they're happier because it's summer. That's what we were trying to create, and the whole game will go forward because of it.
The chairman have got a very important vote to take tomorrow, and the meeting is at Wigan first thing tomorrow morning. You'll be able to follow the events, by the way, right here on Sky Sports. Now then, let's concentrate on this evening's match. It's Warrington against Leeds, of course, and Leeds, well, they are playing Warrington here, and in midweek they kept their slim title hopes alive when they took on Oldham at Headingley.
It was a night for the young stars of Leeds to shine, and one of the brightest of quite a constellation at Headingley is winger Francis Cummins, who was sent on his way to his opening try by Craig Innes. As ever, Ellery Hanley was in support, but there was no danger of Oldham getting near Cummins. Another of the gems being polished by Leeds is fullback Paul Cook, who started and finished the move for Leeds' second try in the 25th minute. Graham Holroyd had Hanley in support with the line open, but the pass went to ground, and it was Cook who picked up to finish off. Now here's what looks like a carbon copy of the opening Leeds try, as Innes again works the switch with Cummins, who then cuts back infield, evades Oldham fullback Wally Gibson, and cruises in for his second try. Ellery Hanley was looking for his 41st try of the season to set a new try-scoring record for a forward. But despite supporting every move, it wouldn't come. Holroyd going all the way on his own for try number 4. Oldham were down to 12 men with hooker John Clark sin-binned, and Leeds took full advantage. Craig Innes exploiting the extra space and brushing aside the challenges. It was 30-0 to Leeds at half-time. Oldham coach Andy Goodway obviously fired his team up because Ian Sherritt plunged over early in the second half for a try. That was quickly followed by a second, courtesy of some slack Leeds defending. Blom bombshell Martin Crompton doing well to get the pass away, and Joe Familo went through 4 tackles on his way to the line. But Leeds regained their grip on the game with the simplest of tries, Gary Schofield putting Kevin Iro through. Oldham then took a leaf out of the Leeds book to score a similar try. Loose forward David Bradbury hitting Steve Gartland's pass at full tilt. One of the best of the 11 tries scored in the game came from Oldham. Crompton dragged in 2 defenders and put Gary Lord through the gap. Gartland was on his shoulder, and David Jones did really well here to keep the move going, using Gartland as a decoy until Mike Neal arrived to finish off. Oldham were looking for another try in the last 5 minutes when Crompton's kick was collected by fullback Cook. He was deputising for Alan Tate, and he went the length of the pitch. The 18-year-old showing that, along with the likes of the other teenagers Cummins and Holroyd, Leeds now have the strength in depth needed to challenge for honours in the big league.
No doubt about that. Leeds stay in second place. They need 2 more points here tonight, and they will be secure in runners-up spot at least. And of course, if they win here tonight, well, they delay the celebrations for Wigan, or do they put them off altogether? Leeds would still be in with a chance of winning the championship. Warrington, though, are after a place in the top 4 themselves. They want that for a home tie in the first round of the Premiership. Steve-O, the Leeds side certainly does look as though it's got the depth now to challenge Wigan and challenge the rest for the honours.
Yes, it has. I think they've developed very well. I was impressed with them at the start of the season. Wasn't too impressed with their build-up towards the semi-final, but that's out of the way. And let's hope that they now concentrate on the Premiership, because they need to win tonight. They've got to push Wigan all the way, and otherwise we can't just hand Wigan, I know there's Dennis at the side of me, we can't just hand Wigan the championship trophy. And Leeds are in with a chance. I mean, Halifax pulled off a shock against Wigan a few days ago, and I think that there's always a slim chance. I just hope that Leeds do not get the Wembley wobbles. They did it last season, and a lot of people were disappointed. They seem to just hold back and say, well, Wembley is our key for this season. Let's hope that this season they won't. I don't think they will. I think Dougie Lawton will have them really fired up tonight.
Warrington have got to beat Leeds tonight for Wigan to be crowned as champions on Sunday. Don't forget, you'll be able to see Wigan against Bradford Northern live on Sky Sports on Sunday evening with a 7:05 kick-off. We shall be there at 7 o'clock. Now then, what else has been happening this week in the big league? Well, Wigan on Wednesday set yet another record when they broke the First Division point-scoring record of 941 points, which they themselves set back in the 80s. With a host of stars rested, the Central Park youngsters, such as try-scorer Chris Radlinski, kept up Wigan's championship momentum with a 44-4 drubbing of luckless Doncaster. Hull, meantime, kept alive their slim hopes of avoiding the drop by beating Featherstone 28-8 at the Boulevard. 24 points came in a 16-minute spell in the first half. Richard Gay and Mia David were the architects, combining to send David over and put the match out of Featherstone's reach. In last night's disciplinary news, Wigan's Kelvin Skerritt received a 3-match suspension after being reported last week for the use of the elbow, but he's clear to play at Wembley. Bruce Maguire was suspended for 2 games for punching in last week's match against Castleford. Maguire appealed today against that sentence, but his appeal was turned down. Featherstone's Steve Malloy was banned for 1 match for kicking, that in the semi-final. And David Maiko from Sheffield received a 2-match ban for a head-high tackle. And Steve Malloy's Featherstone Rovers teammate, by the way, Joe Nadioli, failed today to get his 3-match ban for a dangerous tackle reduced. Right, you're up to date then with all that has been happening in the big league this week. And don't forget, keep in touch here on Sky Sports with that important meeting at Central Park tomorrow. We have Warrington against Leeds for you in the sunshine here at Wilderspool. Warrington aiming to cement themselves into 4th spot. Leeds... This one's got all the ingredients of a classic. Warrington against Leeds. Always a great game when these two sides meet. Let's check out the way they line up for you now, shall we? We'll begin with the fullbacks. Lee Penny and British international Alan Tate. On the wing, it's Mark Forster, 23 tries, but none in 7 games. Jim Fallon, 2 touchdowns, helped Leeds back to Wembley. Welsh international Jason Lee and Francis Cummins, a second Wembley beckons he's still in his teens. Another Welshman, Alan Bateman, lines up in the centre. It's Kevin Iro for Leeds. And Jonathan Davis faces up to the skills of Craig Innes. Standoff pinches 2 talented youngsters together, Iestyn Harris and Graham Holroyd. At scrum half, Kiwi international Kelly Shelford and French skipper Patrick Onta. Up front, Mark Hilton and Neil Harmon, who left Warrington for Leeds in 1993. Gary Tees is enjoying his best season in the 5 he's been here, and it's Harvey Howard. Hookers, Tukeri Barlow scored 2 tries last Friday night. Marcus Vasilakopoulos with the ability to play anywhere. Second row, Gary Sanderson and another ex-Warrington hero, Gary Mercer. Bruce Maguire suspended, so David Elliott comes in, and it's Kiwi international Isini Familo. Loose forward, quite a task here for young Michael Wainwright up against Great Britain coach Ellery Hanley. On the bench, Andy Bennett and Paul Cook, who had a great game on Tuesday against Oldham, as we've seen. And in 15, it's Francis Maloney and under-21 international Jim Leatham. Coaches, Brian Johnson at Wilderspool and Doug Lawton in charge at Headingley. Take a look at the past record between these two, and it couldn't be closer. Win for Warrington tonight, and the sequence will be levelled up. 21 wins apiece. That's in the First Division, of course. The First Division this season, and we've got 2 sides here who know where that try line is. 120 tries for Warrington, 134 for Leeds. Only a certain club called Wigan has a better attack than that. This season so far, 26 games apiece. Leeds have won 21 of them, 4 defeats. They've drawn 1. They're a little bit behind Wigan in the championship table, but they've got to win here tonight to keep their slim hopes alive. And Warrington unbeaten in their 12 home games this season. Leeds have won 9 of their 12 away. Something's got to give, hasn't it? Now then, let's have a look at the remaining fixtures of the top 2. Wigan have got 3 at home and 1 away right here on Easter Monday, Boxing Day, on Easter Monday morning. Wigan, top of the tree, Leeds just behind them. Warrington tonight, then Hull at home, Halifax and Wakefield away. That's the run-in for the 2 in the race for the championship. Great run-in for the title on its way. Leeds must win tonight. Otherwise, Dennis Betts and Wigan will be crowned as champions on Sky Sports on Sunday night. Do I see a primrose yellow and blue scarf somewhere there, Dennis?
I may be shouting for Warrington tonight. We've still got a tough game to come on Sunday, but we're in the driving seat. If we win our remaining games and Leeds win all their remaining games, we'll be crowned champions. So, well, like I say, we're in the driving seat. All we've got to do is keep winning. There's no pressure on us at all from anybody, I don't think, apart from ourselves.
No pressure at all, apart from yourselves. I just wonder, this Grand Slam is being talked about now, isn't it? You are going away at the end of this season. You want to go with all 4, don't you?
Cliches come flying onto me.
Of course.
One game at a time. We're just going week to week. It's just, people talk about every year at Wigan. We're like I say, we're in the driving seat. We're able this year to win all the major trophies because we've already won the Regal Trophy.
You want that, don't you?
Of course I do, yes. I want to go away. I want to leave Wigan at the end of the year, possibly in my last year with Wigan, with as many trophies as possible. And to go away on such a high note will be something special for me.
It's great that Leeds have pushed Wigan all the way, of course, isn't it, Steve-O? But the thing is, tonight, it's a question, and how many times have we said this season, not only on this programme, but on Boots and All? They daren't lose.
No, they have to win tonight, and I think they realise that it's going to be a build-up for the Wembley final. They've got to have a building confidence, and there's no better building confidence than winning tonight. And I think Doug Lawton will not do what they did last season. They did come off, they took their foot off the pedal, and I think they'll go all out tonight. And with all these stars on display, we should have a cracking game tonight. Plenty of tries. These 2 sides are one of the best entertainers in the world. Okay, we know that Wigan are great, but these 2 can really put it together. They've got some great forwards who love to keep the ball alive, but the 3-quarter line and the clash at number 6 between Iestyn Harris and Graham Holroyd, that I am looking forward to.
Yeah, 2 young guns on display there. It's time for us to get the prediction from the boys. And we've already heard that Dennis is fancying Warrington just a little bit. By how many?
I think Warrington by 12. We've got two good sets of backs. There's going to be plenty of tries tonight. I think I'm just hoping for Warrington. I think they're at home. The form's been good. Leeds are up and down. I think I'm going for Warrington tonight, just because I'd just like to see Leeds lose.
Because that'll set us up for a great night on Sunday night. Steve-O, Warrington by 12, what say you?
Well, midweek I said that Warrington would win by about 8, but they've had a few problems. They've lost Roper on the wing, and he's a good young star. And I saw Kelly Shelford. He was having a late fitness test, and he did not look all that sharp. And I think that Leeds will probably win by about 8 instead.
Warrington haven't lost in the big league since they were beaten 30 points to 0 by Leeds at Headingley 7 games ago. We're live and exclusive on Sky Sports 2 tonight for the big league. From the Stones Villa Championship, 2 of the entertaining sides in this year's title race. And the crowds have turned out to see Leeds and Warrington also. It's a family sport in the big league. 1 or 2 hoods up, but I'll tell you, it is a mild spring evening here. And is this the forerunner of nights to come in the future? Jonathan Davis leads Warrington out onto the field for a vital match for them. They're after top 4 in the championship to secure a home tie in the first round of the Premiership. No. Jonathan Davis played so well last week. 5 goals for 100, and it will be the 4th season in 6 years in the game that he has made over 100 goals when he reaches that milestone. Here come the Challenge Cup finalists in their changed jerseys tonight. Craig Innes and Ellery Hanley, of course, the Great Britain coach now, and on 40 tries for the season. He didn't score on Tuesday against Oldham, so he still needs 1 to set a brand new record for a try-scoring forward in the game. 40 tries under his belt already. Here's the Warrington team. Lee Penny, Mark Forster, Alan Bateman, captain Jonathan Davis, Jason Lee. It's Kelly Shelford in 6, he'll feed the scrum. Yestin Harris in 7 will play standoff. Mark Hilton, Takeri Barlow and Gary Tees the front row. Second row, Gary Sanderson, David Elliott. The loose forward, Michael Wainwright. And on the bench, it's Andy Bennett, who's 21, and Francis Maloney, same age, under 21 international. This Leeds team looking to build on their form, maintain second spot in the championship at the very least. Alan Tate, Jim Fallon, Kevin Iro, Craig Innes and Francis Cummins. Graham Holroyd and Patrick Onta. You'll notice no Gary Schofield. Up front, Neil Harmon, Marcus Vasilakopoulos and Harvey Howard. Gary Mercer and Assini Familo second row. Ellery Hanley, the loose forward. And the substitutes, Paul Cook and James Leatham. And there really is the future of rugby league. The young man who will toss the coin for the 2 captains, Davis and Hanley, tonight. It's a big night for him. It's a big night for these 2 sides as well, and they will change ends. The match referee is John Connolly. He is the referee of the year the past 2 years. And he ran in the London Marathon last weekend and clocked a time apparently of just under 4 hours. So he must be pretty fit, John Connolly. I hope he gets around the field quite easily today, and the stiffness has gone out of the limbs. So the Stones Villa Championship coming to you live from Wilderspool Stadium. This is the big league. They don't come much bigger than Warrington and Leeds, and it's going to be Warrington who are going to get this game underway. Perfect top of the ground night for fast flowing rugby league, and Warrington coach Brian Johnson will be hoping his team can reproduce the sort of form they had at Castleford just 7 days ago, when after losing Bruce Maguire sent off, they beat Castleford and turned in a super display. John Connolly's whistle, Davis kicks off, and this match underway. Holroyd gives it to former Warrington favourite Gary Mercer, and first tackle of the game coming in on him from Gary Sanderson. This could be a very special match. Jim Fallon with the run for Leeds.
Pretty high tackle there from Gary Sanderson on Fallon, And that looks as though they've lost the ball. Harvey Howard won't be happy with that, the prop forward. He says that someone reefed it away. You can see the hand there trying to get to it. But I think the prop forward just lost it in the end. This is the high one from the second row. You can see that John Connolly had a pretty good view of that.
Warrington's head and feet at the scrum. That was Iestyn Harris, and he gave it to Welsh international Alan Bateman. There's a little Welsh trio in this Warrington side. Kelly Shelford there helping the ball out wide to Wainwright. That leg of Shelford's is quite heavily strapped. He has had hamstring problems. There he is in possession again now. And there's Mark Hilton driving the ball in. We have two beasts on the field today. Mark Hilton's one of them. Kevin Iro is another. This is Iestyn Harris. Long ball out wide to Jason Lee. Good little run this from Lee. Not making any progress though. Couldn't get through a rather flat-looking Leeds defence.
It's the opening minutes that's going to test on this one. Leeds defence have to be tight. They've got to move up as a unit.
Barlow, the dummy half. He finds Davis, who switches the direction of the play. Dabs it through with the outside of his boot. And that ball comes loose. And nobody got a hand to it. Davis so nearly did. But that was havoc in the Leeds defence.
Oh, the skills of Davis there. And the Leeds defence, they really queued up and just got in each other's way. Alan Tate went for the football. I think you'll find that Ellery Hanley came charging through, knocked him out of the way, but the Welsh wizard showing the silky skills very early in the game.
Drop out from underneath their own sticks by Leeds. This now is David Elliott, brought into the side because Bruce Maguire's appeal against the two-match ban and a £50 fine failed earlier today. Now Mark Hilton drives it into the Leeds quarter line. Barlow's the dummy half, and he takes it on his own, down the blind side, taking on Iro. Vasilakopoulos is there as well. Jason Lee disappearing underneath the Warrington hooker. Davis was the dummy half to Shelford. Harris taking them on again. Had an excellent game, young Iestyn Harris at Castleford 7 days ago. Harris struggling to his feet. Crowd appeal for the penalty, not given. That was Wainwright with the short ball.
What a great tackle from Craig Innes. Crunch time then, the centre.
And it was on the prop forward, Gary Tees. Here's Shelford, long ball to Lee, back then to Davis. He's going to have another dab through with that, and Fallon again makes a bit of a meal of it. Jim Fallon's defensive qualities being tested here by Davis.
The pressure is immense, and Fallon got a fingertip to it to start with. That meant he was back to 6. But once again, the option of the kick nearly coming off for Jonathan Davis.
The ball went out this side of the corner flag, so it's a scrum that's been put down by referee Connolly, and that's Jason Lee with a very good run, taking Warrington within 3 metres of the line. Harris, and here's Wainwright. He helps it on to Bateman, attacking down that side. Another super tackle from Innes. Lee Penny's chimed into the line, the full back. Warrington exerting some pressure early here on this Leeds defence.
Will they drive and set up a move? They usually do the crisscross.
Almost an interception by Onta. That will be 6 to go if Warrington get it back.
Huge gamble by the Frenchman. He came right out of the defensive line.
Warrington have it back. It is 6 tackles to go, and Leeds have been pulled for offside.
Playing the advantage, John Connolly. Brought forward Neil Harmon, one of the culprits. The referee had plenty to choose from. Ellery Hanley not making any effort. This is the Ontar attempted intercept there. It really can be suicide when a man comes out of the straight line of defence. It puts a lot of pressure on your own defence.
Nice shiner for Onta, the Frenchman. Scar of battle. Jonathan Davis then, 95 goals, as I say. He's 5 away from the magical 100 mark for the 4th time in his 6 years in the big league. 95 goals, 17 tries, 11 one-pointers, 269 points prior to this kick. Welsh international, setting the sights. Oh, he's missed it. Great groan, and the eyes raised to the heavens by Davis. and a groan from the terraces. He can't believe that, and Steve-O, frankly, neither can I.
Said it all, didn't it? The roll of the eyeballs. I always say wait until you see the whites of their eyes. Well, you certainly saw Davis's then. Total disgust.
Good drop out from Holroyd. It made good ground, and Penny will run it back from 10 metres from his own posts, and he makes a full 20 metres. Forster, the dummy half. Barren spell for Mark Forster. Hasn't scored for the last 7 games. 23 in all this season. Gary Tees will drive this ball in now.
That's better defence from Leeds. They're moving up a lot quicker now. They're trying to close the Warrington side down the middle.
Weston Harris, the pass was behind everybody, and Mark Forster can do nothing. It just runs into touch. Everyone had overrun that pass.
Well, I think Harris didn't realise who was going to be the dummy runner and who was going to be the receiver. Either way, he made a proper Horlicks of it in the end.
Holroyd thought about firing the pass, instead hung on, took the tackle from Harris. Now Gary Mercer. Good run from Mercer. Leeds Player of the Year 1994, a contender for the title again this year. Had an excellent season. Vasilikopolis finds Harvey Howard.
Come on, release him!
Good tackling by Warrington. David Elliott in there with the scrum cap. This is Holroyd. He helps it further wide to Iro. Iro with the strength, stands in the tackle, gets it away to Tate.
But you saw how effective the Warrington defence was there with a high shot. How they move it quickly, wide out in the centres. Great defence.
Neil Harmon felt the full weight of that tackle from Gary Sanderson. That's a high kick. Underneath it is Jason Lee. That's a good chase by Iro.
Oh, he took it well. He's had a good start to this game as a young Jason Lee. A couple of good runs, and he was well and truly under the pressure. Now, he's penalising for doing a second tackle. Now, he's in the field of play, and there you can see him. Jim Fallon came in and then pushed him back. You can't do that. Once you've effected the tackle, you cannot move a man again. Well picked up by the referee, John Connolly. But a bad mistake from Jim Fallon. That relieves the pressure.
8 minutes gone, 0-0. Leeds in second place in the First Division. If they stay there, and 2 more points tonight will ensure that they do at least. It will equal their best ever season in the big league. In 1990 they finished second under David Ward. My Steve-O, how Leeds will be ruining those defeats by Sheffield and St Helens that have effectively cost them the title.
Yeah, well, most teams do, don't they? It's all about taking the chances. And they do go to sleep at times. That has been their problem. But one good aspect about their play in the last couple of seasons is that they have started to win away from home. It always appeared to be a problem for them.
Well, if this wouldn't have been a balmy spring evening, that would have had snow on it, that ball. High kick, this is the last tackle. There's another high kick too from Elliott. More pressure from Tate, but he is playing well at the moment, Alan Tate.
Confidence. There was no chance of anyone else taking that football. Alan Tate rose up there magnificently.
Harry Mercer with the drive in. Mercer 83 appearances for Warrington prior to his move in 1992. Harvey Howard, former witness prop forward, of course. Vasilikopolis gives it to Neil Harmon, another former Warrington old boy. Almost 150 appearances for him before he moved to Headingley. Here's Iro. Little dab through by Iro. It bounced off Shelford. Shelford went down under a challenge.
Well, it was Iro that took the man out. He tried to get away with the fact that he was being obstructed, but it was Iro that actually kicked the ball and then took the man with him. Tried to kid the referee there. Well, that looked a bit of a attempted trip. Lucky he didn't contact.
He might have made contact actually with the studs, because Alan Tate is just jogging back into his defensive role to defend this Warrington attack. But he didn't, and a good job he didn't make proper contact, because it could have been a little red card on display there.
Well, at least a report.
Wainwright Tackle round the legs by Hanley. That's copybook tackling from the Great Britain coach. Can go nowhere without the legs. Shelford. So far, the hamstring seems to be standing up to things. Shelford again, the heart of this move. Tackled there by Mercer with a bit of help from Hanley. It's the last tackle here for Warrington, and Davis has it. And he dabs it through. Almost nutmegged the player, I think, in front of him. Did it go through his legs? Might have done.
Nice play again from Davis. Applied the pressure. But well covered, though, by the youngster Francis Cummings.
Leeds back in possession then with Faimilo. And the referee has got Warrington offside. Tight as a drum in the opening 11 here.
Well, there were plenty of Warrington players that didn't make any attempt to get back to 10. That all comes about by a quick play of the ball. Full credit to Leeds. But Leeds have yet to get the link going. Hard work in the forwards, but we haven't seen any link to the three quarters as yet.
Harvey Howard, that's a good better drive in from the big prop forward Howard. Vasilikopoulou to Onta, and Onta will switch the direction of this attack. He'll scamper forward on his own, in fact, and taking Leeds to within 8 metres of the line. Hanley is drifting in there. Hanley thought about firing the long pass out wide, held on, took the tackle. It was Wainwright and David Elliott in there to bring the Leeds captain down. Takes the dummy half.
Good tackle by the youngster Harris.
Now Davis is claiming that the ball has come free and it's a knock on. An interesting decision here for John Connolly. I think he's gone with the Welshman, and Davis, has he kidded Alan Tate, his ex-Witness teammate?
With a grin like that, I'd have to agree with you there. This is Tate going through. It's pretty high as well from Davis. Tate wasn't too happy about that. There you can see Tate trying to milk the penalty. It didn't work. Davis had the biggest grin.
Warrington then in possession. Wainwright, tall, loose forward. Harris. Davis switches the direction of the attack again. Barlow, 2 tries against Castlewood last week, had an excellent game. The former junior Kiwi hooker.
Good work from the Warrington side. They are moving up very quickly getting the ball back into play.
Shelford to Wainwright, back to Shelford, long ball out wide to Jason Lee, and he takes Fallon on the outside. The ball dropped though, and you saw the little puff of dust come up off the touchline.
You also saw a sigh of relief from Jim Fallon. He thought he was going to be just rounded, but what a lot of confidence from the youngster there, Jason Lee. He's having a fine start to this game.
Jonathan Roper's got the flu. Jason Lee got a very late call. An interesting thing about Jason Lee, he actually made his Welsh international debut before he played first team rugby league for Warrington in the big league. He's quite a talented youngster though, is Jason Lee. Well, I say he's a youngster, he's 24. He's young to Steve-O and I.
You can be so cruel at times, Edward.
Just truthful.
Oh, what a tackle there. Mark Hilton went on, gave Harvey Howard the real shaker. Oh, you don't need an olive with that one.
The kick downfield is fielded by Lee. Iro with the tackle. This now is Penny. Tackled there by Neil Harmon. Prop forward Gary Tees. Well, 14 and a half minutes gone. Those 14 and a half minutes have flown by. Here's Mark Hilton again. He's a big favourite, this fellow. He's 20 years old, and they love him here at Wilderspool. Harris to Shelford. Wainwright is missed out. They find Davis. Davis just pops it up for Penny. Oh, that looks high from Iro, and the referee agrees with me.
The arm going right over the fullback. Here it comes. Crunch time. To be fair though to Iro, the first contact was on the chest. The momentum of his body pulling through looked a lot worse than what it was. Oh! Well, a few seconds ago we saw Harvey Howard swing and miss. He didn't miss that time.
Wainwright, Michael Wainwright with the try. Michael Wainwright is growing in stature, this Academy international. His second try of the season, and that was sheer class.
Solid hard work from the forwards. It was a great run from Sanderson that put them into position. Look at the inside pass there from Shelford, and this young talent in for the first try. This is Ira going over the top. It put them in the position. They took a quick one from there, and the run from Sanderson. But watch how Shelford uses the dummy. It's a beautiful delayed pass. You can see Hanley and Iro took it. That is a great try.
He showed a lot of class, didn't he, the 20-year-old Michael Wainwright. That's 2 in 2 games for Wainwright. His first try in the big league last Friday crowned a fine game, and he looks in the mood again here tonight. Great prospect. Jonathan Davis then, he's had one attempt with the penalty that sailed the wrong side of the posts. Good crowd in Wilderspool Stadium tonight for this. Packed into the terracing here. And Jonathan Davis with that little plastic tee that so many kickers now are employing. But he's having a bit of trouble getting the old ball settled on it. Obviously one end is a little bit narrower than the other. Now it settles. And Davis with the conversion attempt. He's missed again. I don't believe this. I rather think that Jonathan Davis might be giving that little plastic cup away in a minute.
Well, you can see the 3 defenders have gone for Shelford. And once the young loose forward goes on the inside, there's a huge gap there. There's nothing they can do about that. He's a tall, lanky fellow, and that is a well-worked try. Put that down to the skill of Shelford.
For the kicking of Davis, he's not found the mark yet. No reward from 2 attempts. 4 points missing for Warrington. 4 points scored, of course. I wonder if those 4 could be important come the end of the day. Doug Lawton has led his men to Wembley for the 2nd year in succession. This is now Mark Hilton. Oh, the strength.
This is a tremendous showing from the Warrington pack. They're working hard for each other, and they're gaining that advantage line with ease. Look at that. That is good, strong running.
Possession is overwhelmingly theirs. They lead 4-0 on the scoreboard too. Gary Tees picks himself up, plays it to Barlow. This now is Davis, who will hoist a high one. That's spinning all over the shop for Alan Tate, but he watched it and took it with consummate ease.
Well, it was a high kick from Davis, but he knows it wasn't the best one. It was far too deep. He allowed Alan Tate all the time in the world.
Kevin Iro, a real match winner on his day. So is Innes, and so too is Francis Cummins. That's a good tackle from Bateman. How important is he to Warrington defensively?
It had to be as well. Mark Foster had come all on Tars, spilled the ball. That'll be play on.
Tried to get a pass in round the corner.
It's just not on. It's panic football when they don't need it. But Mark Forster took a real gamble. He came in onto Innes and left the youngster outside. Francis Cummins was away.
Barlow making a few more yards for Warrington from acting half. Wainwright gives it to Harris. Errors all square, 2 each. Good tackle there from Vasilikopoulos. It's now with Davis. Cross-field diagonal kick. Again, it's been dropped and Warrington missed the chance. How on earth did they not score then?
Ask Gary Tees, he'll tell you. It really was a meal by Mercer, but you can see Gary Tees coming through, just pushed Mercer out of the way, and Tees couldn't believe it, the ball disappeared.
Fallon with a lot of pace and quite some room ahead of him. Ball inside. Iro has Hanley there. Is this history for Hanley? It most certainly is. Ellery Hanley's 41st try of the season. shatters Bob Haig's record now. He was equal with it before tonight. A record established fully 24 years ago. The world record try scorer in a season as a forward, Ellery Hanley.
The master support play, it all came about from a quick pad tap on the quarter. Iro and Fallon showed a lot of speed. Davies was beaten back on the inside. At this point I thought that Iro had absolutely blown it, but a man who loves nothing better than to just search down the middle, Ellery Hanley. Now this should have been a try. How on earth did Gary Teague not get to that? Full credit to Alan Tate. I thought he took him out. He was getting him back from this, but look at the determination. Jim Fallon did the right thing, and now at this point Iro throws the dummy, and I thought he's blown it. Support is there, and no one stops Ellery Hanley that close.
Hanley's 41st try of the season. He didn't score on Tuesday, but he's now the new record try scorer as a forward. Holroyd adds the extras, and Leeds have the lead. Warrington 4, Leeds 6. Holroyd then jogging back, but Ellery Hanley, he scored tries in the last 2 wins here. The league in 93 and a Regal Trophy tie in 1991. This is his 25th consecutive appearance for Leeds tonight, and he's crowned it with the new world record for a forward. Warrington then, they were ahead. They were so close to a second try. Now they're behind. And Hanley evades 1 tackle, evades 2 tackles, but can't evade a second snap by Jason Lee. Forward pass, says referee Connolly.
Alan Tate is furious. The hooker, Vasilakopoulos, and you can see Tate turning round to him and saying, "What on earth were you doing? I'd overrun you. I was a dummy runner." Confusion reigns.
It's Penny now who's chimed into the line. Good tackling there by Craig Innes. Leeds are in no mood, are they, to let go of this championship just yet?
But they'll have to sort this second marker out. They're not working. They're both hanging back. There's a couple of them having a bit of a rest on the second marker, and you can't afford to do that.
Warrington are close. They're 10 metres out. They're now 20 metres out with Shelford and with Davis and with Bateman, and he's given it to Lee, and Lee was in touch. The touch judge had no doubts.
Great play by Fallon, and also great play by the youngster Jason Lee. He knows it as well. Jim Fallon realised he was really put on the cost end, but full credit, the weight takes it away. There's little doubt about it. You can see the whitewash on the touch, the knees on it before the ball is down. Well done by the touch judge.
They had to be eagle-eyed there, and he was.
But what a game the youngster Jason Lee is having.
Iro now for Leeds. Takes the tackle from Sanderson. Neil Harmon now. 24 minutes gone. Leeds just ahead. It's quite a game. Mercer running strongly, almost over the top of Lee. Vasilakopoulos gives it to Howard, who hit the ball at pace. 3 there, struggled to bring the big fellow down. Holroyd shapes for a high kick, takes after it from an onside position. He's run straight into the back of John Connolly. Connolly went down, and so did Tate. It's one of the best tackles of the match on Tate.
I don't think John Connolly will agree with that one. What on earth was Alan Tate doing? Well, beside his eye on the ball up there, he ricocheted off one. It was like a pinball machine. Crunch. Didn't get an extra game with the referee in the dirt.
Wainwright plays it to Barlow, who finds Hilton. Barlow to Shelford, on ball to Harris, steps off the right foot, but Neil Harmon was alert to it with a little help from on tap. Sanderson the dummy half, now Shelford, Bateman, a bit too much. Too much meat behind that.
That was brought about by a very good tackle, applying the pressure to him. They've sorted themselves out a little bit in that department of the Leeds outfit. But there's some crunches going on out there. Fitness is going to tell in the end.
This is Craig Innes who loses the ball. It went backwards again. It's play on. Now it isn't, it's knock on.
Referee thought it went backwards. The touch judge says you're kidding. That went forward, and he's right. Shake of the head from Craig Innes. He's brought off a couple of crunch tackles already. Well, with all these stars, Eddie, we expected a real good game, and we're getting it, aren't we?
Excellent. Great entertainment. And Bateman with the run. Innes tracked him over to this side of the field. This now is Penny. Taking an eternity to get off the grounded player, and the referee gives the penalty. And Vasilakopoulos didn't agree, so he's been marched back 10 metres. And so that's bang under the sticks for Davis now. Well, surely he won't miss this one.
Well, you can see Alan Tate having a few words. Lack of discipline completely. It's bad enough giving away a penalty, but when you come back, say a few choice words to the merry whistleblower, that doesn't help you. I know Davis hasn't been on form with his kicking boots so far, but smack in front, there you can see the rest of the team saying, hey, come on, youngster. Vasilakopoulos just losing his cool.
Yeah, he played hooker on Tuesday night also. Scrum half against St Helens. He's a versatile lad. He's only 18 as well, another of the very bright youngsters that Doug Lawton has got under his control at Headingley. Well, there's the angle for Davis. Clear blue skies overhead. Pleasure to be here tonight. And Davis at last. The smile says it all. We said before that a picture told 1,000 words. Well, that one does now because the scores are level.
A lot of things going through the mind of the young hooker there, Vasilakopoulos. A real twister for me.
You're managing it all right, you're okay. 28 minutes gone, 6-all. Nothing to choose between these two entertaining sides in the big league. Live on Sky Sports 2, hope you're enjoying it as much as we are here tonight. Super game. And if Leeds do go down to defeat here tonight, the championship is up for grabs on Sunday for Wigan. We're live and exclusive at Central Park, 7 o'clock. Game kicks off at 5 past. I rather fancy Wigan will be full to the rafters if the championship can be won. They fall to the rafters anyway. They love their big league action at Central Park, as they do here at Wilderspool, as Davis picks himself up. This now is Hilton. He'll carry the battle all night, the big fella.
And it will be a battle right the way through this game.
Good kick, it almost came off. Who has that? Iro does.
That'll be play on. Shelford trying to get the ball away, but you can see that Iro actually stole that ball. He was looking to get away with that one.
Neil Harmon now for Leeds would, I'm sure, like nothing better than a victory here on his old stomping ground. Patrick Ontar trying to impress Doug Lawton with the possibility of a Wembley spot up for grabs, as there is for Harvey Howard. Well, very interesting what Doug Lawton's permutation will be for Wembley. Certainly got more strength in depth this year than they had when they went there last year. That ball bouncing round for Lee Penny. Picks up, makes 17-18 metres before he's clattered by Ontar and Hanley.
That was a better kick and chase from Leeds. And this is where the defence has got to tighten up. On the last two occasions, Warrington on 3 play the balls have made it back into the Leeds half. They're just slacking off, and their biggest problem is the second marker. They're not working. Look, they were going backwards instead of working and putting pressure on the first man.
Gary Tees, Van Milo's head shot back as he made that tackle on Tees. Quarter ass, none given in the forwards. Davis with a little invention. He saw there was space. The ball beat him. The bounce was wicked.
Oh, he read it well as well, did Davis. It was superb thinking. He could see that Leeds didn't have a sweeper there. Alan Tate was well back. It was a cruel bounce, though, for the Welsh wizard.
By Milo now. Less than 10 minutes to half-time as Mercer drives the ball upfield for Leeds. Vasilakopoulos is the dummy half. Holroyd. Last tackle. Tate drills the ball all along the ground. That's a good kick from Tate, but straight into Jason Lee. But Leeds moving up quickly and eventually cutting him down. He's having a good game, isn't he, Lee?
Certainly is, but once again, two play the balls and you see Warrington back into the Leeds half. It's no good having a kicking game if your chasing's not going to be up to it.
Barlow.
And that looked pretty high again. There's a prop forward out there, very close to the mark.
Harris ducks underneath. The challenge from Harman still going. Harris. That's good play, but the ball, fortunately, dropped into the arms of Forster. Again, Warrington had just overrun Harris's attack. They're still here now, though, with Shelford. That's the last tackle. Will Davis be tempted with a one-pointer? He will. He gives Warrington the lead. John Connolly perfectly placed right behind the sticks to make the judgment.
With enough time to make himself a cup of tea here. Superb positioning, execution, excellent.
Well, he's got the round dozen now in one-pointers this season, Jonathan Davis. He's given Warrington the lead again, 7-6.
Good play again. You can see Harris, the determination. That is good second effort stuff. That got them into the position for Davis to gleefully add an extra point, which could prove to be vital.
David Elliott met by Milo and Hanley. He's lost the old scrum cap too, as Elliott there. Good drive upfield, that. Now, Barlow. Alan Bateman just looking to his inside and sees that it's Mark Hilton, has no hesitation giving it to Hilton. Such strength. He's only 20, under 21 international. Shelford to Harris.
That was a great tackle there from Mercer. It was round the shoulders.
It's with Harris again. Here's the soccer skills from Harris, but Alan Tate read it.
Tate wasn't going to be fooled again. He got caught out before when Davis just chipped over the top, but he was moved up quickly on that occasion.
Ellery Hanley plays the ball there to Marcus Vasilakopoulos. Hanley, who tonight has rewritten the record books again. Iro manages to stay in the field of play, gets to his feet rather untidily. Big collision there between Gary Mercer and Hilton. It's Harman now hanging on. This is little Patrick Onta. Tried again to get it round the corner. The referee has pinned Warrington there for tackling the man without the ball, I think.
Yes, he took Craig Innes out. I think you'll find it was Mark Forster that came in. Round the ball with Bateman, and Forster goes over the top. There was no chance that Craig Innes could get to that. Nice play though by Onta, but he does force the pass. That's the second occasion that it's gone to ground. They got away with it then.
Do you see the message coming out from Doug Lawton too? The man with the water bottle had a little word in the Frenchman's ear.
And I know what that'll be. Just calm it down. Don't force the pass.
Milo, 10 metres from the Warrington line. 5 minutes to half-time. Warrington with the slimmest of leads. Onta with a long raking pass to Holroyd. Holroyd with a jinking run trying to open this defence up. Good tackle from Tees, helped out by Davis. Good tackling, good work from Davis on Mercer. Vasilakopoulos, Holroyd with a one-pointer, and he gets the drop goal. We're 7-all.
Well, we've seen very little of the standoff Graham Holroyd, but when he needed the 1 point, he was there. He was under a bit of pressure as well. Super stuff.
Well, neck and neck, Leeds second, Warrington fourth before tonight. Nothing to choose between these two. Leeds must win to maintain their chance of the title, and Holroyd's drop goal equalising the drop goal from Jonathan Davis a few minutes ago. 7 points all. Four minutes exactly, plus stoppages to half-time. I think Davis then called for a big six from his teammates. In other words, get stuck in as Mercer runs this ball forward, and that's what they've done. Keep Leeds penned down in their own half of the field. Warrington still enjoying the greater of the possession by some chalk.
Leeds will be quite happy with a scoreline like that. 7-all, with Warrington applying so much pressure. Leeds unable to play out their full six on a regular basis. The kicking game hasn't been all that good either, and the chasing game has been awful. I'm sure that Doug Lawton will sort that out at half-time.
Almost through Howard. This now is Hanley. Still going Hanley. Wainwright round his ankles. He still gets the ball away to Harvey Howard, who drives it in. But Gary Sanderson stood up to him. It's the last tackle. Leeds are just on halfway. Holroyd now will drive it towards the corner. He'll find touch.
Let's get out of here, says the young standoff. Holroyd picked his mark well. No one at home. He knows that they'll be happy with the scoreline to go in at the break, hoping that the possession will swing towards Leeds in the second half. But the amount of possession that Warrington's had, they'll be disappointed that they're not well and truly in a commanding lead.
Well, we saw before this match, didn't we, that these two sides have scored, what was it, 120 and 134 tries between them prior to tonight. But it's the defences of both these sides that is standing up to the sternest of tests here.
Well, it is in the first half. This has been at a hectic pace, and I reckon halfway through the second half we will see some great tries. They really are running at 100 miles an hour. Look at that. They can't keep this up, not for the full 80, surely.
Barlow to Kelly Shelford. And Shelford, still going Shelford. Holroyd is down and injured. As this high kick goes up, crossfield, Fallon's underneath it, looks to see who's coming at him. Jason Lee was coming at him, he's got it. Fires the pass to Yestin Harris, and Patrick Ontak came right over the top. As soon as Harris received that, clobbered him.
It's a cruncher. Oh, so was that. But look at this. Little Frenchman, like a terrier. French one, of course.
Patrick Ontai's rarely been in the first team since he lost his place, and of all times to lose your place, it was going to play for your country against the Australians. Since then, he's not really been able to reclaim a regular spot in this team. Out to impress tonight, as is Hanley. They closed him down. It was Hilton and it was David Elliott. Hanley felt that. This is Tate. Dabs it over the top. Tate. Oh, that bounces off the knees. And Warrington given benefit of the doubt. Yestin Harris.
There was no doubt about that. It came off the knees and it was going backward. No way in the world you could class that as a knock-on. I don't know what the crowd's going berserk over.
Penalty offside against Leeds.
Well, to be fair to the referee, John Connolly, he's allowed the advantage rule all this first half, and that's why we've had some very entertaining football. But it's fast and furious. I just can't see them lasting.
It's at a hectic pace, no doubt about that. Shelford here now. Was Sanderson, he gave it back to Shelford. This now is Harris, trying to exploit the gap, gets it away. Alan Bateman in stoppage time in this first half. Not much of that. We haven't heard much of John Connolly's whistle. Ellery Hanley with the 41st try of this campaign for him. A world record for a forward. He's rewritten the history books again, and Warrington and Leeds are level at 7 points all, because Wainwright, with the try for Warrington, they disappear into the dressing rooms for a very well-earned half-time break. But this is the moment when the record books were rewritten by the Great Britain coach. 41 tries now for a season. Warrington 7, Leeds 7, breakneck pace. Can these two sides keep it going? Entertainment out of the top drawer on the big league tonight. The Stones Bidder Championship always turns up trumps for us on a Friday. Warrington against Leeds. It's 7 points all. 2 drop goals, 2 tries. Great game, no doubt about it. Big prize, of course, for Leeds. Runners up at least, and the chance to keep a little bit of pressure on Wigan at the top of the table. Wigan and Great Britain's second row star Dennis Betts is our studio guest this week. Dennis, 7 all.
It's a bit
good
close
game.
To call. A bit close to call. 2 very good sides. They just clear each other in defence, and they've not really got that little bit of magic yet. I think in Leeds they've got a little bit of an edge. They've got Kevin Harrow, who's brushing people aside. Jim Fallon's having a really good game. This young lad's tried to take him on the outside a couple of times. Jim seems to have caught him easy with pace and dragged him into touch. It's going to be a tough one to call. I'm not really sure if Warrington stick at the job and do the right things right, then they could sneak the points, but I seem to be shifting towards Leeds with victory.
Ground is shifting underneath Dennis Betts at the moment, but Steve-O made the point in the commentary that they surely can't keep this pace up, and we're going to see some spectacular tries second half, aren't we?
Well, you've got 2 top sides. I think the pace is going to stay. I think we're going to see a couple of tries, but I think the pace of the game is going to stay there. Leeds are a very, very professional outfit, and Warrington in the top 4 as well. You've got 2 good sides. It's going to be a good finish.
There are, of course, people joining the Sky Sports big league team all the time on a Friday night. Steve-O, they've got to be impressed by the pace and the commitment and the sheer physical fitness of lads like Dennis and the players who we see on view here tonight.
Of course, it's a professional game. That's why we call it the best in the world, and it is. And the first 40 minutes has been tremendous. We've seen some silky skills, and we've also seen some tremendous hits. I mean, the tackling out there, I really don't think that they can continue for another 40 minutes like that. And I think in the last quarter, that's when the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to be the fittest side who's going to come out on top.
Hang on to your hats then. Let's take a look at the important moments of the first half. This is the Wainwright try.
Well, it was wonderful play by Shelford. Problem with his hamstring before the game, but this youngster has impressed me. Ever since the day that I saw him play in the academy, he is very confident, and that's what you need. It was a wonderful switch to the other side. But this, I just cannot believe it. Warrington should have scored a try here. Now, they was hanging around complaining. Tate says, let's get on with it. And by the time they've taken the quick tap, Warrington are very slow to sort it out. And once it gets out wide, bingo. The neat pass out there, Fallon, and they were caught short. And it was a beautiful inside pass there. I thought Iro had really messed it up here. But Ellery Hanley, the man who loves nothing better than to sneak the yards midfield, scores a try. 41, breaks the world record.
The Predator, Ellery Hanley. Now then, rugby league is not just a game for the rugby league connoisseur. Sportsmen and women from all walks of life watch this game, and we're going to meet one right now, a man who's been in Australia and South Africa this past winter playing cricket, of course in Australia for the Ashes series that went sadly wrong. Neil Fairbrother's outside now with Bill.
Neil Fairbrother, Lancashire and England, and also a Warrington supporter.
Yeah, well, I'm a Warrington lad. I only live a couple of miles away, so it's nice to pop down every now and then.
Well, what do you make of this first 40 minutes tonight?
Well, it looks a tough game to me. I would imagine Leeds don't really need this at this stage of the season, but it'll be a good second half, I think.
And Warrington always seem to rise to the challenge of Leeds, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think Leeds and obviously Wigan as well. They're big games for the club, and they're on a bit of a roll at the moment, so it's going to be a good second half.
I think Warrington are in the right shape for a Premiership victory?
Well, I've only been home a week, and everybody says here that they're playing well, so you never know. If Wigan mess up at any stage, I'm sure they'll be buying at some heels.
Now, your season can't be far away from kicking off.
Yeah, another week or so, but it needs to get a bit warmer yet. Our first game's down at Cambridge in a couple of weeks, so yeah, we're in training, as it were.
Well, thanks very much, Neil. You might have some summer competition very soon, you never know.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I don't know who's going to win, Leeds or Yorkshire Cricket Club, because he's playing at the same place.
Warrington's impressive home record, second only to Wigan's 100% record, goes on the line here in the next 40 minutes. They've won 12 and drawn 1 of 13. They're standing at a draw at half-time against Leeds at the moment. 7 points all. There's the statistics from the first half, and Warrington with 60-40 possession. That's why we have 64-89 in team tackling. Scrums, 8 of them, 5 to Warrington. Penalties 6-2 in Warrington's favour, and only 6 handling errors on this dry night, as you would expect from 2 top teams. Ellery Hanley's try, in many ways I suppose the abiding memory of that first half, for the fact that it was so significant for him and for the record keepers of this game. And his opposite number, Michael Wainwright, only 20, an academy tourist, and he's been at loose forward for the past 5 for Warrington, and Warrington have won them all. So it's going to be Leeds who will restart. We're live at Wilderspool at 7 points all in the Stones Bitter Championship. And 2 sides, the big question is, can they keep that relentless pace up that they displayed in the first 40 minutes? And there's Francis Maloney who is on. Francis Maloney, the under-21 international, gets another chance in this Warrington side. He's come on at half-time. And it's Iestyn Harris, the Welsh wonder boy, who is off. I beg your pardon, it is Kelly Shelford who has been withdrawn. Shelford, the man who, of course, only just passed a late fitness test before this game.
Well, not the best start for the prop forward Mark Hilton there. He had a super first 40 minutes. Bad mistake there. Not what their coach Brian Johnson would have wanted. Took his eyes off the ball.
He's checking the Leeds lineup as we have it at the moment, and Paul Cook has come on for Patrick Onta as Innes goes on that little run. So coaches Brian Johnson and Doug Lawton just making a couple of changes and adjustments at half-time as Mercer takes the ball into the Warrington quarter. Here's the run from Harmon, but he went without the football.
Doesn't like it either. It wasn't the best pass. Had to turn slightly for it. But he also had his eyes on his opposite number. Mark Hilton was coming in.
Confirmation for you of that Warrington change. And now confirmation that Onta has been withdrawn by Doug Lawton and Paul Cook is on. Here's Vasilakopoulos. Cook, who had a big game at full-back in place of Alan Tate on Tuesday against Oldham.
Well, this has been a nightmare start for Warrington. They've made 2 bad mistakes, dropped the ball in the first and second tackles on 2 sets of 6.
Mercer gets the ball away to Familo. Trying to take Maloney on, takes the tackle in the end. Vasilakopoulos to Holroyd. Holroyd further wide to Tate. Tate looks up inside him. And there's Francis Cummins, who's drifted in off the wing. Tate there again now, dabs it forward, bounces off the Warrington player. It's going to be 6 to go, and it is. More pressure here for Leeds on this Warrington defence. Hanley will hang on. The tackle completed with Hanley standing up. Bustling run from the prop forward Harvey Howard.
Pretty fortunate there. There was nothing that the youngster could do. Wainwright, they battled that ball into it. I'm not so sure that he went for it. Leeds very fortunate there.
They're 12 metres from the line with Alan Tate here. Ball back inside to Innes. Innes with a good run, calling Paul Cook on his inside, and Cook took the tackle in the end. And Bateman's taken a bang. Iro takes the play, the ball to himself, goes for line and scores. Kevin Iro scores. Warrington appealing, I think, that Iro was marked at the play of the ball. You saw John Connolly shake his head and say the marker wasn't there. He wasn't at home.
Good thinking by the big Kiwi centre. He was held back. There was just no one in front of him. They can't claim that. You could see Iestyn Harris was to one side. Mark Hilton was standing an eternity away. Maloney gets to him, slips away. And you can see the second row, Gary Sanderson try to hold him down. There was just no one at home. That is a simply taken try. And Warrington have paid the price there. Well, after a great first 40 minutes, they've just committed suicide, basically.
Kevin Iro, a try against Oldham on Tuesday. That was his first since February. That's 2 inside a week now for the big Kiwi. And Graham Holroyd, 1 from 1. Can he slot this over and give Leeds a 6-point advantage? He most certainly can. And for the first time tonight, a bit of daylight between these two sides. 6 points.
There you can see the two Warrington players arrow. They're not in front. Iro has every right to tap it to himself, and that could cost Warrington the game. They have just gone to sleep. 2 bad mistakes have allowed Leeds the possession.
Kevin Iro's try then. Leeds now have a 6-point lead, and look at the face on Brian Johnson, the Warrington coach. Not impressed with the defensive qualities of his side in the opening few minutes here.
Well, he knows that the big problem was that they gave up possession early in the tackle count on 2 occasions. They really did have so much possession and territorial advantage in the first half. It's not the best start for the Wires.
Great start though for Leeds. And Fallon is in possession for them, and he's skipping through the tackles. Unbeaten at home, Warrington. Leeds, though, they can win away. They know how to win away these days. And ahead here, 13 points to 7. By Milo, just brushing the tacklers off. They're all going too high.
Certainly was. Gary Tees really gave one into for Milo. He felt it as well. A few words were exchanged after he played the ball. For Milo said plenty to him.
Hanley plays it to Vasilakopoulos, who finds Holroyd, who floats the high kick. Here's a tester for Penny. You can hear that onrushing traffic. He gets away from Iro, and he gets away from Mercer first time. Mercer came back and caught him.
Beautiful kick. It was well taken under pressure by Penny. But the difference this half, you saw it there, the enthusiasm in the chasers at Leeds. It was not forthcoming in the first stanza. They've got it right. Obviously the words of wisdom from the coach, Doug Lawton. At the half-time break, it looks a different Leeds side.
Nothing changes as far as Mark Hilton's concerned. He's willing and eager to drive that ball in all night. Bateman almost through, and that's a great tackle in the end. And it was Francis Cummins. High kick from Maloney. 1 bounce, 2nd bounce, and it runs dead. It was a kick to nowhere, really.
He won't be happy with that. Francis Maloney knows it was far too strong. Well, it was a problem in the first half for Leeds with their kicking game. Seems to have shifted over to the other side. Good tackling though there. Alan Bateman, ball and all.
Paul Cook feeling the full weight of that tackle. This is a Assini for Milo. Gary Tees taking him around the ankles this time. And here's Gary Mercer. Dumped to the floor by Wainwright. Vasilakopoulos. Big man, Neil Harmon.
I'm just wondering now when Leeds are going to start doing the link. Maybe that's the reason why Lawton has taken Patrick Ontau off. He never really got the 3 quarters going in the first half. Maybe a different sign showing this one.
That was last tackle. Leeds were inside their own half. The kick from Tate, who is opposite number Lee Penny. Penny wanted to take on Hanley. Hanley stood his ground. An impressive performance so far from Leeds, tight in defence, and they've capitalised on the early mistakes from Warrington at the start of this second half. Sanderson's tackled there by Cummins. Here's Hilton, again he drives it in upfield. Taking Warrington with him to the halfway line, Barlow and Maloney. Last tackle, Warrington. Good defence again from Leeds. Warrington on halfway. Davis will hoist the high kick. No pressure on Tate. Just misread it slightly and had to stretch.
Well, he drifted away from it, but is that a voluntary tackle? He made no movement. never tried to bring the ball back into play. He was very lucky there, Alan Tate.
Mercer. Still Mercer. It was Wainwright with the tackle. Innes gives it to for Milo and supports the attack, Innes. Oh, almost juggled with it and dropped it, but held on. Here's Harman. Tackling by Barlow, helped out by Bateman, but Leeds again are in the Warrington half of the field on the last tackle. Holroyd with a high kick. Who wants it? Appeared that nobody did for the time being, and the ball went backwards. Harris is able to keep the movement going to Forster. Forster then on to Penny.
He allowed the advantage. It didn't go to Warrington. Attempted to take the ball away. They were offside as well, and you can see Vasilakopoulos getting and between the legs and attempting to pick him up. That is not allowed anymore. The referees are being instructed to ensure that anyone who grabs in that manner will be penalised. No, that was a little one that went in.
Hilton picks himself up, plays it. That's Maloney. This is Tees. A lot of sand in the centre of this Warrington pitch. Very wet winter, of course, it's been. The pitch, though, now starting to dry out.
Well, this is where Warrington have to start moving Jonathan Davies from the centres into the play.
Maloney. Long ball out wide to Davis. Good tackle from Iro. Great tackle. Here's Harris. Just shows it, Harris. He's got Hanley all round him. Last tackle here for Warrington. Davis has moved infield. There he is. He's going to dab one through. But he dabs one nowhere in particular. Just not coming off for Warrington.
Well, at least it was well weighted. Tate had to take it over in the end with the drop out from underneath the sticks. So a good kick there by Davis. Warrington will regain possession, but it really does mean that Davis has to inject himself a little bit more into this game now.
This is Sanderson meanwhile with the run. Warrington are back on the offensive with Mark Forster. A little drought for him in terms of try scoring. Can he break that drought here tonight? Barlow to Wainwright. Swift tackling again from this Leeds defence. Maloney and Harris. Leeds moving up very quickly to cut his options down. Maloney supporting him. Now what have Warrington in their locker here? This is Elliott.
There's a Leeds player down and out. They're down to 12 at the moment in their defence.
It's Vasilakopoulos, as Davis thought about a one-pointer, but instead put the hanging kick over, and it's come up for Bateman. Mistake by Cook. He dropped it under pressure from the two Warrington attackers, but Bateman knows it was lucky, but he's not complaining. Warrington are back in it, courtesy of the Welshman's 17th.
The extra man, you can see the Leeds player getting attention, but the Davis kick was absolutely perfect. He made a real meal of it, did Cook there. And Bateman gleefully accepts the 4 points. You can see that there's two Warrington players out wide, and the substitute Cook is all on his own. He didn't go up for it with any confidence, and the ball is spilled. Bateman gleefully accepts.
Alan Bateman, 5 tries in 4 games now for the Welsh International Centre. But put that down to a little touch of Jonathan Davis magic with the crossfield kick and the mistake from young Paul Cook. He was full back on Tuesday against Oldham, but he didn't go for that high kick from Davis with any confidence at all. 1 from 3 for Davis. This will level it up. Difficult kick in the shadow of this side of the ground, right on the touchline. Davis misses another. 1 from 4. But Warrington back to within 2 points.
You can see Cummins, who's now playing in the centre, circled, and look at the gap there. Davies pinpoints it. Super kick there. And I'm afraid Cook didn't go up for it. You can see how he just stayed on his ground. You've got to rise your body. You've got to go up and meet it. And that's the reason why Cook dropped the ball. You can't grasp at it.
A little Welsh 1-2 then. Puts Warrington back in the hunt at 11 points to 13. Oh! What a mistake from the Welsh 1-2-3, Iestyn Harris. Well, we've been giving him big raps for the past 2 weeks. He won't want to see this again.
Well, he attempted at first to get his foot to it. He kicked up rather badly, but he should have just raised the arms and let the ball bounce off his chest. Still, he knows it's a mistake, and that's a third mistake in the second half. Under more pressure, Warrington.
Innes having a big game, the former All Black centre, Craig Innes. Iro to Farmilo. Mentioning the old Welsh 1-2-3 for Warrington, that's the Kiwi 1-2-3 for Leeds there. Harvey Howard, and he's got the Warrington player all round him. It was David Elliott, but he still got the ball away to Mercer, and here now is Iro.
3 Warrington players there to quick play the ball. They've got to have the overlap, surely.
It's now with Holroyd. Long pass out wide to Cook. Can he make amends for the slip?
Good sliding defence though from Warrington. They moved across quickly.
I beg his pardon, that was Francis Cummins. And oh, and Tate went for the try. And that was really good play from Tate. He was so alert for the chance, it came off almost.
If only his fingernails were just another inch, he probably would have got that. But let's take nothing away from the scrambling defence from Warrington. Bateman was in there. They need to be. They really are on the rack of Warrington at the moment.
Forster buried by those 3 Leeds defenders 10 metres from his own line. With Wainwright now, Warrington. Again, 3 men close in. Haul him down. Barlow. Nothing to choose between these two. And there's a penalty. Interference at the play of the ball. Hanley does not agree.
Well, it was a good tackle from the Leeds skipper. You can see clearly that he just holds him down by the shirt.
So Warrington now with an opportunity. They're in Leeds territory. Neil Harmon dropping a bit late then on Hilton. Play on. Harry Tees driving the ball in for Warrington.
This is getting very spicy.
Good run there from Sanderson. He just held it up and Wainwright overran him. Warrington, 8 penalties to Leeds 2. Barlow, who got 2 last week, hauled down by Faimilo. They're right underneath the sticks with Harris. Short ball, it bounces off the head of Tees for mine.
Well, a delayed pass, it sometimes works, but it was a pretty hard pass as well. Straight off the chest, bounced down. Well, that's another chance gone begging.
Fallon with a strong run and good defence from Warrington in the shape of Sanderson.
What a fine season Fallon's having. He really has come of age, hasn't he, this season?
Well, he's maintained his improvement in the big league. 20 tries before tonight. His try scoring has gone up year on year, and Hanley looking for the penalty, and he looks imploringly at the referee, who said that was a touch of the Brian Phelps.
I like the signal from John Connolly. Bit of a diving effort.
Lee Penny with this run. This is Wainwright. Oh, and Hilton went without it. Maloney picks up for Warrington. 2 points to gap. Been tight all the way through this.
Well, when are Warrington going to realise that they've lost their key playmaker in Kelly Shelford? A little bit too fast for Forster.
It was an inviting little kick for Mark Forster, wasn't it?
Really got to it as well. Pretty close to it. You can see the anxiety look on Cook. But getting back to this Warrington, they've lost their key playmaker in Kelly Shelford, and surely they've got to move Jonathan Davis in to work in with Francis Maloney and Justin Harris and interchange. At the moment, they're just not working anything.
Here's Paul Cook. Tackling there from Elliott and Penny. Mercer loses the ball. Big chance here for Warrington. Hilton picks it up on the first bounce. The dust coming off the boots as Hilton make ground into that Leeds 10-metre line. Here's Wainwright.
It's amazing, isn't it? The young loose forward, Michael Wainwright, he attracts them like flies. Takes 2-3 men to make sure they get him down.
Maloney fires a pass out wide. Bateman releases the pass. Oh, and Forster did well then. Quick thinking from him. Here's Maloney again, spinning around under the pressure from Innes. Warrington is so close to that line. Barlow fires the pass out. Harris, Yestin Harris, almost fooled Harvey Howard. Wainwright, the dummy half. He got one in the first half, but he's not going to get another yet. Arriving at the hour mark. Warrington, basketball style from Davis, keeping the movement going. The referee says, though, that they'll come back.
Well, Kevin Iro really did take a gamble. Look at this. If Davis could have got it away. And a bit of a back chat now from Warrington. They're losing their composure.
I think he pulled Warrington for the knock-on. And I think Davis was appealing about the...
well, he thought that Iro was offside. He thought Iro was offside. Iro is never come back onside. Look at this. There's a play of the ball. He may as well join, may as well transfer him across to the Warrington side.
Well, Iro got away with that. It means Leeds are back in possession when Warrington could have been in a dangerous situation up the other end. As it is, the defending this run from Mercer. Leeds looking for more with Hanley. Last tackle for Leeds this. Howard gets the ball away, and that just spilled there by Craig Innes. Lee Penny has got Ellery Hanley all round his ankles.
Super pass from Howard. And he should have taken it, the Kiwi centre. Innes was well and truly on his way for the line. They could rue that miss.
Well, let's take a look at how these two finish. Warrington concede a few, as do Leeds, so looking at that statistic, literally anything can happen in this next 18 and a half minutes or so. The match is without doubt up for the winning here. Nothing to choose between the two. Bateman with the run. Bateman for the corner. Has he got the legs? Has he got the legs? He hasn't. That's a sensational tackle from Alan Tate.
He can't believe it, and neither can I. This looked like try time. What a wonderful tackle from Alan Tate. He knows that if he goes low, the momentum will take Bateman across. If he goes high, maybe he could lose the football. He didn't, but he took him in on the corner flag. What an amazing turnaround. Alan Bateman must have been celebrating, but Tate never gave in.
He just hesitated at the last moment, didn't he? Looked for the pass inside, then went for the corner, and that's why Leeds have got the ball back. Howard, oh, this is getting tasty. It really is. Let's go down and talk to Kelly Shelford, who's with Bill.
Kelly, 2 points in it, about 20 minutes to go. How do you see it going?
Oh, if the guys keep on defending well like they have been, you know, they'll come back into the game. You know, we always knew like Leeds had a midweek game. You know, if they just stick to their guns and just, you know, just hold on to the pressure that Leeds are putting on them, they should win in the last 10 minutes.
But you really can't afford to throw away chances like Alan Bateman has just done.
Well, it's we couldn't see it from here actually. I thought it was a try, but then they turned around and Alan Tate come up with the ball, so obviously it must have been a good tackle. No, the guys, you know, just got to plug away. You know, Leeds had a midweek game, and the boys, you know, should come out on top. I think. I hope so anyway.
He's making a good point there about the fitness of Leeds after that match on Tuesday against Oldham. Have they got 2 games in the tank in a week? Well, the next 17 minutes or so will tell us. But Warrington are coming more and more into this. So close with Bateman, now it's with Forster. Barlow, the dummy half, he fires it into the arms of Harris. And Leeds are having to work harder in the tackling, so it's all going to take its toll on this Leeds side as Harris goes on a little run.
He won't give it. He will not throw the towel in the youngster Euston Harris.
A diagonal crossfield kick from Davis. The referee called to Gary Tees then and said you're offside, and Tees went for it and then retreated. Good refereeing from Connolly.
Certainly was. It meant that the action still goes on. Look at the possession there.
It's still Warrington's match in terms of possession, but Leeds with the 2-point cushion on the scoreboard. Two top sides in the big league slugging it out toe to toe.
Well, we wondered if they could last the full 80 minutes at this pace. As you mentioned, that Leeds had to play midweek. They really are dragging on all the resources. A tremendous showing there from the Headingley mob.
Certainly has. That kick downfield collected by Bateman. We said the two top sides slugging it out here. Don't forget Sunday night at 7 Live here on Sky Sports. We have the battle from Central Park, Wigan Bradford. Leeds meanwhile offside.
Vasilakopoulos, one of them, but there was plenty to choose from. In fact, apart from Tate, he was the only man behind John Connolly.
Emotionless, Brian Johnson. He knows this is an important match. He knows that the game is there for the winning. He'll be ruining the slow start that his team made at the beginning of this second half, but they're finishing strong. Wainwright gets the ball away, and Barlow looks like he might be in. But Leeds hold him up. Barlow trying to milk the penalty. Elliott. Maloney gives it to Tees. Leeds apparently not best pleased with the penalty count that's gone against them tonight. Warrington attacking now again here with Harris. Short ball to Davis. Harris supporting the attack. This is good Leeds defence though. You've got to give this Leeds team credit. Defence was a problem last season. They've tightened it up so much this campaign. Barlow to Wainwright. Out comes Fallon. He gets the ball going though out wide to Sanderson and then goes for the return himself. They're so close, Warrington. Wainwright taking it to himself, and there's a knock on. Warrington have got it back. It's the first knock on. I'm not sure who he's pointing at. Maybe it's Leeds, maybe it's Warrington's head and feed.
Well, who knocked on? That's going to be pretty hard there.
Warrington knocked on. It's Leeds head and feed at the scrum.
Well, it was well spotted by John Connolly. It was a real mix-up in the corner there. And I just get the impression that Leeds are really tiring. It's scrambling defence. You've got to think back to Alan Tate's tackle on Bateman. Oh, it looked all over, didn't it?
It sure did. And I'm sure Jonathan Davis will be thinking back to the 3 kicks that have gone astray. Certainly the 2 in the first half. On any other night he would have kicked them, but not tonight. Are the gods conspiring to take Wigan one further match down the road before they clinch the title?
The big question is, how much is there left in the tank of this Leeds outfit? It's been a courageous display. The forwards are working hard now. They know it's not going to be fancy stuff from here on in.
Don't expect fancy stuff from number 8 Neil Harmon, former Warrington man. Last thing he wants is to lose here tonight. Good run this from Holroyd. Inventive play from Holroyd. It bounced perfectly for him. He's still going, is Holroyd. They must score Leeds. And Holroyd does score. Nodding from the touch judge. Holroyd has got the 4. And Leeds, a courageous display is on the go here. Graham Holroyd's try, he split the defence with a terrific run.
Superb solo skills. Went out wide on the outside of the boot with the left foot. You could see there that Harris couldn't get to him. Good speed as well. Notice how he changed the ball so he could fend off the fullback Lee Penny. But look at this kick over the top. They've got numbers there. The sweeper was there, but Justin Harris was slow. But this is the crucial part. Watch him shift the ball so he can hand off, and that was enough to get him over the try. He hasn't seen much in attack, this guy. A couple of kicks, but when they needed him, he scores a great try.
And a perfectly legal try too, despite the fact that the corner flag bent after he'd put it down. The ball was grounded before he hit the flag. And so Holroyd with the try and 2 from 2, and now from the tightest of angles on the touchline. He's missed the kick. It's not a disaster for Warrington. The gap still 6 points. Trying a goal.
There's a kick over. You can see the sweeper, Justin Harris, but he's just a second too slow. And he hesitates. He should have committed himself there. He left himself in no man's land. Watch for the shift of the ball, the left-hand fend, and that was enough.
Is it any wonder that Doug Lawton talks so fondly of this 19-year-old Graham Holroyd?
Well, he's been like a sleeping giant today. He's got through a lot of work in defence.
But that was sheer class, Steve-o, wasn't it, for a 19-year-old?
Tremendous. Doesn't matter what age you are. The class was superb. And what a time. Leeds did need it. They were well and truly on the rack. We were wondering whether they had anything left in the tank. And when you produce something like that, it looks as though it's nearly full and driving hard again.
Jim Leatham has come on for Leeds. And it's Neil Harmon who's gone off. 20-year-old prop forward, product of the Leeds Academy team, and Ellery Hanley again on a scuttling little run inside the last 10 here at Wilderspool. And Leeds crucially with a 6-point advantage and chasing this high kick from Tate. Penny's after it. Penny's lost it. Leeds are in for more. Mercer, no, double movement. He bounced and went over. The elbows were down. Mercer doesn't agree, but watch this.
Penny really made a real meal of it, but look at the power there. That's when he was tackled. Double movement without any doubt. Well, they're still in it, Warrington. As long as they don't panic, they've still got enough time. They cannot just force the pass. They have to stay cool. A converted try will square it all up.
Well, this match has been so special tonight, I rather fancy that it still has a little twist and turn in the plot. Harris with the run, what an effort from Innes tonight in defence. Now then, 14, Andy Bennett has come on, and Gary Tees has gone off. And Andy Bennett, with all the strength in the world, taking 2 Leeds players another 5 or 6 metres towards the posts. Here's Maloney, desperate for a little touch of brilliance. Maloney, it's with Harris, now Davis. Davis through the dummy, dab one into the corner. There's too much on that though. No chance at all for Forster there.
He was caught in 2 minds. He threw the dummy first and he could see that Leeds had not taken it. The kick was not the best.
Ryan Johnson, anxious. Not vintage Davis tonight.
No, the boot has not been on form, has it? He will certainly realise it'll be going through his mind, but there's still time. Leeds, of course, all they'll do is play safety first. Hard work again from the forwards. Montar back on the field.
And it's Alan Tate, the fullback, who has gone off so that Ontat can return for the last 7.5 minutes or so. Last tackle here for Leeds. Holroyd, another high kick. There's another tester for this Warrington defence. And that's going to be Warrington's ball.
Well, that would have been play on. Good refereeing there by John Connolly. Well, they're still in. Are we going to have a grandstand finish?
Let's hear from Alan Tate. He's with Bill.
Alan Tate's just limped off. Is that a serious problem?
No, my hamstring's pulling a bit and I just don't want to, risk it, and pull it right, and then I'd be out for weeks. Hopefully, I've stopped before I did pull anything. I just had to take precaution and come off, like it's hurting too much to run in it.
Still had time, Alan, to pull off the tackle of the match in the corner. That really was the match decider, probably.
Yeah, I thought Alan, if he ducked it, he sort of dummied it at the last minute and give me a chance to get him. I was a bit surprised he didn't just go for it. But try saving tackle. Hopefully, it'll win us the game.
There are some very tired-looking Leeds players out there now. 3 games in 8 days. It must be getting to you.
Yeah, well, 3 days and 6 games. It's 6 days. The Rugby League set this task for us, and we've learnt now. We've just got to keep battling away. And it was going to be hard. We were tired, but as I say, the lads have got tremendous spirit in the squad. The young lads are doing well, and hopefully, as I say, we can hang on for a great win. Thanks.
And it would be a great win. Alan Tate absolutely right. And although it's 3 in 6 or 3 in 8, Leeds are finishing the stronger here, Steve-o.
Well, they've got the tails up, haven't they? But they won't be too happy with the fact that they tried to force that pass. All they needed to do was just camp down in Warrington's quarter.
Maloney looking for something. Doug Lawton knows he's got a team, I think, under his control this time that really can push Wigan all the way, and is doing now in the Championship. 5 minutes to go. A try and a conversion. That's the difference between the two, as Elliott drives it in down the Wainwright drives it in down the middle, play the ball to himself. This is last tackle. Harris will have to kick. Warrington standing, watching it. Davis is after it. Holroyd just plucked that out of the air.
Well done, Holroyd. You could see that he moved up, went for the ball. Davis had gone past him under heavy traffic. This won't be pretty now. Leeds know they've probably got this. Oh, that'll be a penalty. That's bad play there by the youngster Cummings. He didn't release the football. He just tapped it. Just touched the foot. You've got to release it. He did not release that ball. Well spotted by John Connolly.
Warrington rely on Hilton with the drive towards the post. This is Barlow. This now is Wainwright again. You've got to credit this Leeds defence, though. They have worked tirelessly tonight. Forster delayed in picking that up. Thought he'd fooled them, but not those 3. Barlow, dummy half. Flicks it into the arms of Maloney. He gives it to Sanderson. Sanderson with another drive towards the post. Again, this Leeds defence stands firm as a rock. Barlow to Maloney. Out wide from Harris. And Jason Lee has faded a bit. Last tackle here for Warrington. Crossfield kick again. Tester for Cook, but he's not going to let that one slip this time.
Well, it must have been running through his mind. He gave away a simple try, but he kept his cool then. He had to as well. It was a superb kick again from Davis.
Holroyd. Still going Holroyd. Ball wide. This is Iro. Gets away from Maloney and the second man. Support arrives from Fallon. This is a great move from Leeds with Mercer. Oh, Mercer presents the pass straight into the arms of Jason Lee.
What on earth was he doing? Well, I can't believe that. Well, this will be a sin bin. Why on earth did he want to pass? They're the side that's in front. Oh, they have thrown out a lifeline to this Warrington side.
It's only a penalty, it's no sin bin, and Warrington are running the penalty here with Bateman. Bateman taking them on out wide, and Cook will not let go of the jersey. Davis, the dummy half, fires the ball into the arms of Harris. He finds Sanderson. Last desperate throw of the dice by Warrington, defending this unbeaten home record with Wainwright. Gets the ball away.
That hit Ontar, but the referee didn't see it. It won't go back to 6.
No, it hasn't.
But Ontar definitely touched it.
Hilton to drive it in. This Leeds defence has stood firm as a rock. Can Warrington scrape over for the try? Ball out wide, it's with Bateman. Great tackle, Cummins. They will not be pierced, this Leeds back line. Dab through. Cook with the little side foot. He knocks it dead. Warrington will get it back.
Right option there from Houston Harris. The ball had to be kicked away. Cook came to the rescue, but it's more pressure. The seconds are ticking away. They'll try to get as much length on this dropout as possible.
Holroyd kicks a mean ball and he finds the halfway line. Andy Bennett will run it back. Straight into the chest of Leatham. Last minute plus stoppages. Warrington on the attack here with Elliott, taking on little Onta, who will not be shrugged away. Back come Warrington for more pressure. Can they crack this superb Leeds defence? Harris chips early in the tackle count to no one in particular, and I think he took the wrong option.
Well, maybe the message got out to him that there was only seconds remaining, but I think I would have worked it a little bit longer than trying to kick like that. It was a nothing, really. And the frustration showing there. It was a gamble that didn't pay off. You won't get anything pretty from Leeds now. Up your jumper.
Yes, Leeds will surely see out this set of 6. Innes, the dummy half. And there's the siren. Wigan's agony will be prolonged because Leeds have won here, and it's a super display from Leeds, particularly on defence. Graham Holroyd's try sealed the match really for Leeds, and a terrific display from this Leeds team. Davis didn't kick as well as he can. 1 from 4 for him. Kevin Iro's try right at the start of this second half put Warrington on the back foot. But credit Leeds for a super display. Defensively they were sound, and this young man was inventive in attack. Leeds have won, and Wigan, as I say, that display this by Leeds, 17 points to 11, 3 tries to 2. Hanley, Iro, Holroyd. Holroyd kicked in a couple of important goals and a drop goal. Wainwright and Bateman for Warrington, and Davis strangely out of sorts with his kicking tonight. 5,000 here, tight as a drum, but Leeds in the end, and their captain Ellery Hanley will be well pleased now as he talks to Bill.
Ellery, congratulations on breaking the record number of tries in a season by a forward, but were you aware of that tonight?
Well, not at all. I mean, we had a game to win tonight. Warrington played a great game against us. Our defence held out. It was absolutely tremendous. There was no time to think about accolades for individuals tonight. It was a team effort, a collection from the players who have come together at the beginning of the season, and they played well tonight.
Was this maybe one of the best defensive performances you've given this season?
Yeah, I think so. We probably gave away too many silly penalties. We had to defend even harder. You know, you've got to take credit to all the players, all 15 players who took part tonight. They did a tremendous job for Leeds, and the supporters behind us were absolutely tremendous. A big rap to them as well.
It's been a really punishing week or so. How punishing, do you think?
Well, I think it was tremendously hard. I think probably Warrington maybe thought that we had 2 games in the matter of 4 days, that we were probably going to falter a little bit. But we came up with a great attitude. The spirit was good. We left-headingly Leeds, and we came up to win the game, the football game, and that's what we got today.
You sent this lot home happy anyway.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.
Ellery Hanley, a happy man, and didn't Leeds have to work hard, because it was Warrington's match from start to finish in terms of possession, but they stood up to the task well. I don't think I've seen Leeds defend so stoutly for a long, long time. 8-7 the scrums in Leeds' favour, 13-3 the penalty count. We heard during the match that the Leeds bench was a little bit upset by that overwhelming penalty count against them, and only 13 handling errors in the entire match. Leeds made 7 of them. They've come up with the victory though, and what a player Graham Holroyd's developing into.
Graham, that was some game, probably just what you'd anticipated really.
I think that was the hardest game we've played all year. I think all credit to the lads. We had the semi-final and we played on Tuesday, and then we came here today, you know, and we give it all we've got, and I think that showed today.
Now that's the try that really sealed it, was your chip over the top. Was that your footballing skills coming out as well?
I just saw no Bobby, it bounced in my hands and I just went for the line, you know. I think it was a bit of luck of the bounce, but I think that's the way it's gone today. I think we've had the luck. Some of the decisions didn't go against us, but, you know, all credit to our lads, we defended well.
You nearly ran out of room.
Well, I don't know, I just went for the line, I didn't see anything else, so...
And at the other end of the pitch, a magnificent try-saving tackle by Alan Tate, which was probably just as important, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did one against Ferguson, and it was exactly the same. You know, he's a good rugby player, and I think that's his job to stop people from going over, so all credit to him as well.
Well, you made Wigan wait that maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, you know, all we're doing is playing every game as it comes, where we try to win every game and try to put a bit of pressure on Wigan. We still think it's an outside chance, but, you know, it's a very outside chance, but all credit to Wigan. They've done, you know, what they've done for so many years.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
There's the situation at the top of the table now. Leeds with just 3 to go. Wigan with 4 to go. And the gap is 3 points. Warrington, well, they've not lost too much ground, but they might do come the weekend. Wigan Leeds, that's the way it is at the top. Wigan Leeds at Wembley. And Bill Arthur now is with the Leeds coach, Doug Lawton.
Doug, it looks as though Wigan are going to have to wait a little bit longer for this title, or are you going to pit them at the post?
I wouldn't think that's possible. I think the lads came here with the intentions of making sure that we finish second. That they've done very well too. Tremendous effort in. Couldn't be more proud of them. You really must be. The second half defensive performance, terrific, wasn't it? I knew before the game they'd come to have a do, because you can normally tell as a coach, you know. And I thought, well, we might struggle a bit because we know Scully, no errs, no man, with a few kids in. But Vassie had a tremendous game at hooker. He'd done 25 tackles at half time. And they've all got stuck in, and it's a pleasure to be with them, you know. You mentioned the kids, Holroyd, Cummins, Cook, the Sikopoulos, Marcus. I mean, they've done you proud against Oldham and tonight. Yeah, they're special kids. And the men have done us proud too, you know. So it's been a good team performance, I've made up. But you've had 3 punishing games in a week or so. You've got a cup final looming. I mean, it must be a drain physically and also emotionally, I would have thought. Well, they've got a weekend off now. They can train Monday, and then we've got another game next Friday. So that's how it is. If you're in for things, it's got to be tough. But I'm just proud of the lads the way they played. Were you sitting there when you saw Alan Tate hobbling? Do you think in terms of, oh no, what's going on here? Yeah, I thought, no, another one. He was struggling a bit last week, so I probably pushed him a bit too soon. I could have stuck with Cookie, but you think, in my job, you always think it might be one kid too many. And so, some of the balls Tate took first half, it'd have had to have been a good play to take them. So it was worth the risk, and he'd be all right. And the tackle he pulled off on Alan Bateman was probably the match decider. Yeah, he does do that rather well. He's gone, as the years have gone by, he's become a better full-back. He's probably played his best football at full-back this year that I've ever seen him play, and I've seen him a long time. He seems to read the game, but then that does come with experience, and he's certainly, well, he must be the best full-back certainly in this country at the moment, and probably in the world. Ellery has broken this try-scoring record for a forward tonight, his 41st try. He's been very modest about it. He's not claiming any personal accolades. He said on Sky Sports already that it's really a tribute to the team. But let's just pay Ellery a tribute, because it really is a remarkable performance, isn't it? Well, he plays things down, but at the end of the day, I've not got the highest regard for him. I mean, I played loose forward. I think my record is about 8 or 9 a year. So it's a tremendous achievement. I mean, the fellow who did it before, the game wasn't as quick then. The defences weren't as good then. So to do that in the way the modern day game is, I don't think they'll be licked. Doug, thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
He's getting it together at Headingley, isn't he? There's no doubt about that. Doug Lawton, proud man. And why not? Because it was a very proud display from that Leeds outfit. They've come up with the goods. They're second on their own. That is now confirmed because of these 2 points. And Dennis Betts, Leeds are a team to watch.
They was impressive tonight. They toughed it out. It was a very tough game from out there. They squandered a lot of possession. John Connolly had a good game, I thought. I didn't think the penalty count was fair. He gave away penalties that deserved to be given away. And Leeds just toughed it out. They stuck to the job. And I think the game breaker was when Alan Bateman lost his confidence and just didn't go for the line. I just don't understand why he'd broken a couple of tackles. He'd done everything that he had to do. And then he stopped and let Alan Tate catch him. And it was a great tackle. Alan went high, pushed him into touch. It was the game breaker for me. I thought if Warrington would have scored that try, they would have possibly gone on to win the game. Alan saved them, and Leeds just toughed it out. And they've got some good kids. They've got a couple of very good wingers, and they're doing it. They're doing it tough, but they're doing it well.
Are you a bit worried?
About what? About losing the title?
About Wembley and losing the title now?
We've got a game in hand, and we have 3 points up on them. I think we're going to go do our best to win the title in the next maybe 2 or 3 games. And Wembley's a bit way down the track yet. We're going to do our best. We're going to prepare as well as we always have. And it should be a very good game. I think it'll be better than the game last year, because Leeds are that year more experienced. A couple of young lads have been to Wembley before, they've sampled the atmosphere, and they'll be looking forward to it. But we enjoy Wembley, and we enjoy the thing that comes after it as well, so we'll be doing our best.
I'm sure you will. Steve-O, you've got to give this Leeds side credit tonight, though. I mean, it was a sensational defensive effort. And let's be fair, we have been critical of Leeds over the past, well, ad infinitum, about their defensive qualities.
It was a tremendous effort tonight. They showed a lot of character. I wish they'd shown a lot of character against Sheffield and, of course, St Helens at Headingley.
We'd have a real race then.
We would have a tremendous finish to the end of the championship. But we never know. Who can tell? Maybe Bradford can produce the upset on Sunday. Don't miss that one. That'll be a cracker. But as you say, full credit to Leeds. They really did tough it out. They really did work hard. I felt a little bit sorry for Warrington that when you came out into the second half, there were two vital mistakes that they made very early in the piece, and it seemed to just knock them. We mentioned the fact that Shelford went into the game with a problem with his hamstring, and when they lost him at half-time, I knew that Warrington were going to be in a little bit of trouble. He is the playmaker, and I'm afraid that late in the game, Warrington looked a little bit lost. They only made 2 clear breaks, and as Dennis said, Bateman, he just hesitated for enough, and when you've got a man like Alan Tate, he knew that he couldn't go low, he had to go high. He really did go across. And where he comes, and look at Tate coming out of nowhere. Now you'd think you'd have no chance there, and he just looked at the last minute. Why he didn't pin the ears back and go for it, only Alan Bateman will know.
That's the turning point, no doubt.
Well, yes, of course it was. It was a turning point, and they should have scored it. He should have gone over for that try, but it didn't help the matter by the fact that if Warrington had come out in that second stanza in the first 10-15 minutes and really took control of the game, they would have probably won. But when you lose a man like Shelford at half-time, and then, of course, you make those silly errors, and they did it on the first play of the ball, and I think it was the second one, and you can't afford to do that.
Well, we had a bit of magic at one end defensively and a little bit of magic from this fella in attack soon after.
Well, I suppose it's a bit hard to compare him with the likes of Georgie Best, but he just seems to go to sleep. You don't see this guy for a while, but Graham Oldroyd did just explode at that moment. I'm sure that when Euston Harris sees the replay on it, he'll realise that he hesitated a little bit. But full credit to Oldroyd, as you see, he switched the ball away, took the ball from the left to the right hand so he could fend the man off, and that is skill.
Yes, a lot of skill for such a young player. It does, Dennis, just delay things. Bradford, they could easily come to Central Park on Sunday night and turn up trumps, and then it goes way down the track, doesn't
Well, you never know what's going to happen in this game. Halifax, we went to Halifax and got turned over. It must be changed. It changed the attitude at Wigan, that one loss, so hopefully we're still on a bit of a high from when we beat Halifax and the thing that happened on the Wednesday night where Halifax just took us to pieces and really just showed us that our attitude was all wrong. We pulled that together, and I think we're on a bit of a roll now at the moment, and our confidence is high. We know what we've got to do to win the league. Like I said, there's no pressure on us apart from the pressure we put on ourselves. I think Leeds are too far off the jump to really put any pressure on us. But we need to win the next 2 games just to make sure so we can lift the trophy.
Absolutely. Well, you'll be able to see it won right here on Sky Sports. Now, don't forget the crossword competition. That's what we want you to do every week. The prize, the official Rugby League match ball. Send your answers, please, to the Big League crossword competition. Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW75QQ. A reminder of the question once again. Aussie Brian and Welshman John both starred on the wing for Warrington. Their names, please, on the back of a postcard or sealed down envelope. Right, what's coming up on the Big League? Well, beginning tomorrow, we have the Australian Rugby League for you from the Winfield Cup tomorrow night at 11:30. 2 matches, don't miss either of them. And then Sunday, the Academy Challenge Cup continues. Wakefield Rochdale, we had that as a curtain raiser here, it was a cracker. And we've got Wigan Bradford on Sunday night. We're live at Central Park for Wigan against Bradford Northern. So that means that Dennis Betts is a star on Sky Sports throughout the weekend. Steve-O always is. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.